Hello there and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Deepa Robbins from DeeZinesByD, and today I have a Christmas card for you. So it is July, or typically known as Christmas in July, and it's taken me a few weeks to kind of get into the Christmas mode, but I'm finally into it. And I don't know about you. I know some people make cards just in July to prepare for December, but I'm going to be starting my card making from July all the way up until December. So I'll be intermittently posting different videos on different cards, Christmas cards, in between the rest of my videos throughout the rest of the year for you. So I'm basically going to show you how to customize your current crafty stash of dies, stencil stamps, whatever they may be, and basically turn them into Christmas themed cards. And the way you do this is by changing up your color scheme, which I'll get into. So first of all, I'm going to be using the Altenew Flower Bunch Simple Layering Stencils. So there's about 5 stencils that come in this set, and you have to move them around here, there, and everywhere to kind of line them up. But once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. There's also a guide on the back of the set, and like I said, the way that you make this more Christmassy is that you use Christmas colors. And what are better Christmas colors than nice deep greens and reds? And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So by choosing the reds for flowers, you're kind of imitating like a poinsettia, which is very indicative of Christmas. This in no way or form is a poinsettia, but I figured because it has like a nice couple flowers in it, and then it's also got these little like brushy, branchy things that come off the side, it makes a really nice Christmas flower bunch kind of set. So anyways, I'm gonna just go ahead and do all my stenciling, and I'm using these little finger daubers because I find they work very well, especially for stencils like this that have like a lot of smaller areas, especially when you get down to the shaded parts like this. It works very well for getting your colors into the little nooks and crannies. So now for this, I use the finger daubers as well for the flowers, but it is a greater area. So you could use a blending brush. That might actually be a bit easier than what I did here, but I mean, it's completely up to you. Just keep in mind, these are Altenew inks. So when you put them down, and I find that it's pretty much the same case with most dye inks, is that you put them down and they look pretty splotchy. But once it dries out, it evens out completely, so you can't see too much of that splotchiness. So don't worry about it as you're doing it, and don't give up and throw it away. Just keep going and wait till you see the product in the end. When it's completely dry, you'll completely love it. So anyways, I went ahead and used some nice deep greens here for the colors. I've listed all of them here, and all of the products are listed in my blog. In the description below, there's a blog link for you. If you go into there, all of the products I've used are linked there. Just go ahead and click on the links and you'll find everything you need. Furthermore, if I'll just get this out of the way ahead of time, if you guys do like my video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when I post any other videos, which I guarantee you there's going to be tons of them. And if you do get a chance, subscribe to my blog because I do have a lot of posts, and take a look around in there because there's a ton of older posts with a bunch of ideas as well. If you can get inspired by just one post, I'm amazed and I'm happy and I feel like I've done my job for the day. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and finish off the center of these flowers with some Jet Black ink. And then here are those little branchy bits that I had mentioned. I think they're really cool. I love this part of this stencil. And like I said, it seems very Christmassy. So that's why I went ahead and decided to use this stencil as compared to some of the other ones that I have in my stash. So I went ahead and put down the Caramel Toffee ink from Altenew, and now I'm going to go ahead and put down dark chocolate ink. So you'll notice that the inks that I use for the most part are Altenew's because I just happen to have the whole set. But I do have some Hero Arts. I have all of the oxides and everything like that. But I turn to my Altenew's because I have a ton of reinkers. I have all the reinkers, so I know that I'm never going to run out. So anyways, moving ahead, I did fussy cut out that stencil piece, but there is a coordinating die that you can get for that, but I just don't have it. Fussy cutting is good enough for me. And then I'm going to go ahead and use this Simon Says stamp set. Now, this is a set from last year, and it's actually called Simon Says Stamp Holiday Sparkle Greetings. It's a really nice set because it has a ton of different, actually like 4 or 5 different large scripty words that you can use, and it has the coordinating dies as well, which is really nice. Now I'm going to use the Simon Says Stamp Slimline Scene Builder. I'm just going to be using a small sentiment within it, which is basically the Merry Christmas, but I'm going to mask off that Merry portion because I already have that in that scripty set that I stamped out. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp this on some red cardstock, and I'm going to heat emboss it with Hero Arts Fine Detail White embossing powder. So the red from the cardstock is going to tie in with the red from the flowers, and the white is just a nice bright color on the red that's going to stand out. And then I have the black in the sentiment, which is also going to be my background color. So to move on, I have all my little elements that I'm going to use cut out here. There's the Mary, nicely cut out with the Christmas on the red cardstock. I have this other die from PinkFresh Studios called Slim Fancy Diagonal Stripes, and it cut out this beautiful gold. This is the Sizzix Metallic Gold cardstock that I used, and then there's my cut out stencil that I did in the beginning of this video, and I have my background here. So my card base is about 4 by, I think I have 8.5 or 9 inches here. And all I'm going to do is arrange my little stencil there. And you see, this stripy background is really cool because you can kind of just lift up the different diagonal stripes and place your stencil like in between. It's really cool for that. And I think it just creates like a nice different look than you get with other stencils where you're just kind of placing it on top. So anyways, I fastened that basically to my die with some masking tape, some washi tape, and then I put some strong double-sided adhesive on there, and I used some liquid glue around the edges, just the edges, because I still want those little diagonal pieces to be movable in case I want to tuck something else under there. So I've gone ahead and attached this, and you can see there's just a little bit of adhesive on that shiny cardstock. All you have to do is take a bit of water and just wipe that off. It dissolves. So now I'm kind of placing my sentiment on here, just figuring out where I would put it. And I've kind of just taped that Mary on there because it kept moving around, made it kind of hard to kind of place stuff where I needed it to go, especially when you're tucking things under these little diagonal lines. So I've gone ahead and stuck on the Christmas, and now all I have to do is adhere that Mary. And when I do that, since I've tucked that portion of the Y underneath, I just kind of cut it off because I really don't need all that there to tuck underneath, especially since I've glued down that stencil part as well. So you can see I've cut it off, so I just have a tiny little bit I need to tuck. I'll get that in there and then line up my Mary, particularly that end of the M, or sorry, the beginning of the M, so that it lines up with that edge of my red cardstock sentiment piece. So here I'm showing you, I'm just taking some water, it's just water in there, and I'm just going to rub off the little bits of adhesive. Because this is a shiny cardstock, or mirror cardstock, you want to keep that look and get rid of any adhesive on top. So now I'm going to turn to my AB Lolly beads. Now if you've seen my videos before, these are the very cool little like nail gems that they have on Amazon. I have them linked in the description in my blog, so you can go ahead and take a look at that there. But these are really nice gems, and I have to admit that they're my go-to gem for all of my cards. So anyways, I've laid down a bunch of those AB colors, and I also have these lolly beads in black, which is a really nice bead as well, I guess it isn't a bead, it's a gem, but it's really nice as well. And you can see I've got like a bit of extra glue inside the center of my flowers there, but that's okay because it will dry clear. This is the Barely Art glue. And that's my final card front. So, actually, no, it's not. As usual, I still have more to do. I decided those flowers just needed a little bit more, so I got my Nuvo Aqua Shimmer pen, and I'm basically just going to put that all over just the flower portion of the stencil there. And as you can see, that creates just the nicest shimmer. And I also have that bit overhanging that I have to take care of as well, so I'll just cut that off. And now here's my final card front. So let's go ahead and move on to the card base. So I've cut out the right size here with a bit of heavier cardstock, and I have another flower bunch that I stenciled here, and I'm showing you from the die cut of the front. I kept all those little negative dies, all the little pieces from in between, because you can definitely, as I'm showing you here, use that on the inside of the card. Now this is a little technique I've kind of been doing for the past little while. Anytime I die cut something, especially from these really nice like gold and shimmery glitter or shiny mirror, any of those nice cardstocks, I always keep them, and I kind of just keep them off screen in a little box. And then anytime I'm doing my card insides, I'll turn back to them and I'll use them. And if you're one of those people like me who really hates wasting stuff, especially this really nice cardstock, you're one of those people who buys the nice cardstock and you hold on to it forever because you're like, I can't use it until I'm going to use it for something really, really cool. This is the perfect thing to do, because it makes you feel like you're not wasting any bit of that cardstock. You spent your time buying it, you spent your hard-earned money getting it, and now you're getting maximal use out of it. So anyways, that's one little trick that I kind of tend to use constantly, especially for the insides of your cards. All those little elements work well on the insides of your cards. So I've gone ahead and added a couple of those mirror stripes at the bottom. And I've now glued down the same bunch from the front of the card on the inside. Now I used all the same colors on that bunch as well, so it nicely ties in the front to the inside. And then, just like I did on the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and glue down a few more stripes or strips of this mirror cardstock on the top of the card, just to kind of finish off the frame and the inside of the card. And I'll just move forward here where I've attached that third strip. And you can see that this makes for a very nice frame for the inside of your card. So once that's all good and down and stuck on nicely, I'm just going to go ahead and cut off that overhang again at the bottom of the card. And that really just makes it look really nice. So now I'll move on to my sentiment. I'm using the Altenew Holiday Wishes stamp set. This is a bit of an older set, but it's really one of those really handy ones that comes in handy for Christmas time. And I'm going to be stamping the sentiment down with some VersaFine Clair Nocturne Black Ink. Now I have a bit of a masked portion of my sentiment there because it has a name, and I didn't want to include that in my stamp. And so I also have that Merry Christmas. I'm going to stamp that down in some VersaFine Clair Tulip Red. And I do have to say, the VersaFine Clair set, I have basically all of them. They're really good for stamping your sentiments. It's really like you just stamp once and it's done perfectly. So now my final step is to adhere the front of my card to my card base. And as usual, I use some double-sided strong adhesive. This is Be Creative tape. And then I'll use a bit of tape runner. In this case, I think I use the Simon Says Stamp tape runner. This is a new tape runner, and it's really cool. I do find it's actually very sticky, so you could use it probably without that double-sided tape, but I'm always kind of cautious, so I always use that Be Creative tape. So now I'm lining it up without taking off the backing of my double-sided tape. And this helps me kind of line up my card front with my card base so that, you know, there's a bit of give. If I put it on and it's not in the right position, it's not going to be completely stuck there because I've stuck it down with that really strong tape. So I'll go ahead and now pull off those little pieces of the back of that tape, and now it's completely, you know, stuck. It's not going to go anywhere. and it's completely lined up. So there's my final Christmas card for you, my first Christmas in July card. I hope you like it, and as I said, if you like my video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Check out my blog. If there's anything that you want to take a look at or find out any products that I use, that's all linked up in my blog, and you can also subscribe to my blog. So I 100% encourage you to look through your stash and find some of the stamps and dies that you may have that are floral or maybe something else, and just change up your color scheme. Use some greens, some reds. You can even use some non-traditional like pinks and like light greens that would really make a nice non-traditional card as well. So I'm going to leave you here with a couple videos, a playlist, and my subscribe button. And I hope to see you again next time. Have a great day, and I'll see you again. Bye.